Hello friendos and randos, this is my initial deck profile for Ace after the ST10 is released. I have added a couple of new cards to the list based on my previous deck list from before. Deck profile for OP03 Ace will be out soon once I figure out how to work around the bans in EN. I did actually film a video with my Ace deck profile already, but I do have to re-record it. Or maybe just edit a little bit based on the new restrictions. So, in the meantime, ST10 Ace video, go! So, Ace! I'll leave the ST10 up here just cause the art. And I'm not sure if I have enough space, but if we don't have enough, I will move move the box later. So first, we are going to talk about the Ace deck that I've made. For now, of course, in JP we don't have the same restrictions that you guys have in global. So I still can run 4 Radical Beam, I still can run 4 Blocker Mako, I still can run 4 New Gate if I wanted to. But I'm not running 4 New Gate, but I will show you the deck list now. So the Ace list I've opted for right now does still have a core of Whiteboard Pirates events and characters, of course. Just wanted to flex the championship Ace leader. The art is looking very clean. Okay, back to the deck profile. So being me, I have a slew of one-offs that I will talk about in a bit, but let me first show that I am including the new ST10 cards. So I do have 4 of the 10 cost Rush Luffy character. So let me swap in the the correct card instead of this proxy. Running 4 of the 10 cost Luffy, I feel like this card is really strong, especially in Ace, because of the amount of aggression that you kind of want to have now, especially with the yellow decks becoming a little bit more popular, and the fact that Ace has very good tools to enable this 10 cost Luffy's effect to be even more punishing. So one good example is, of course, to combo the 10 cost Luffy on your board. You swing the following turn, you can use Otama, you can use 7 cost Ace, you can use Crossfire, you can use 4 cost Brook. All of these cards can reduce enemy power, enemy characters' power to under the 8k line. So for example, your opponent has a new gate. If they want to block with their Blocker Mako, you reduce if you reduce his power by 2k with Otama or Brook or your 7 cost Ace, then if he blocks, the new gate goes down. So very strong card. Next, I am including 3 of the Jinbei. So need to sort this out as well. Quick reload. So only 3 copies of the Jinbei. Didn't feel like I needed the 4th. I am running a total of 9 2k counters in this deck, so I will show you all of them later. But I think the Jinbei is again very good in this deck. Now that we're running the 10 cost Luffy, we are a going second deck, so we would like to maybe play this on turn 1 if we don't draw any searchers, and then this sets up for 5 cost Mako on turn 3. So on the 5 cost Mako turn, we can attach 1 Don to the Jinbei, swing, reduce a 5k unit, and then after that play down the 5 cost Mako. Not only that, on the 6 Don turn, when you swing with this, it can trade into a 5 cost unit as well. So it can trade into, let's say your opponent has 2 5 cost units, 1 rested. This one you attach 1 Don, you swing 3k into the 5k unit, and then after that you can reduce that unit, or you can swing 3k into a weenie like a searcher, for example if you're against Zoro. So good card, I wanted to put 3 in, so 3 it is. Next we have some standard stuff. We have Otama. So only 3 Otama in this deck as well, because I did need more space and I wanted more searchable cards instead. And of course I'm not running Dadan, so Otama is the most straightforward card here for Jinbei. And then also running 3 Sanji. So I think you can tell that there is a significant amount of Straw Hats in this deck and this engine. Running 1 of each Sanji art to be funny. Also because the other anniversary arts are in my law deck. So 1 of each Sanji art here. We're running this for number 1, extra 3k body. Number 2, good aggression into decks like Rebecca and Queen. Number 3, strike attribute because fuck Buggy. Number 4, searchable 2k counter. So all valid reasons to run this card. Running it at 3 off, so right now total 9 2k counter cards. Okay, next up we do have the 4 cost Brook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 copies of him total. Again, synergizes really well with the rest of your kit. So Fire Fist synergizes with the 10 cost Luffy, synergizes with 5 cost Marco. Very, very good card, and of course, just in general, does very well clearing board. So 4 off for him. And then we do have 4 of the Nami, the new ST10 Nami art, replacing my anime screenshot art. So much better already. And we will be showing you the rest of the cards as well. So I do think 4, 6, 10, 4, 7, 10, 14. I do have some other Straw Hat targets, but I will show you the Whitebeard side of things now. Let me remove this Dawn card, covering the nice art of the ultimate deck. Okay, so of course for the Whitebeard side of things, we have the standard packages. We have Izo, the Whitebeard Pirate Searcher. Then we have the obvious inclusions as well, 5 cost Marco as well as 4 cost Marco. So both very, very strong cards, very sticky characters, especially in this deck. I have found that with this version, actually, I am running low on Whitebeard Pirates type cards for Marco sometimes, so that's something to note as well. And then, of course, we're also running 4 of the Character Ace. Character Ace, very, very strong card. Will definitely be running 4 most of the time. And then next, I have some of the events. So 4 off for Radical Beam. Haha, Globals. I can run 4 of this card. So very good counter event, of course, best counter event in the game. That's why it got restricted in Global. And then some more cards in for the Whitebeard Pirates events. I have 2 Crossfire and 2 Flame Emperor. So similar to my old O3 list, profile was going to be up, and then they banned everything. So I had to refilm the video, and I have not gotten around to doing it. Okay. So rearranging the cards real quick. Very nicely done. Okay. Otama here. And now we have a bunch of my one-offs. Yay, hero deck spice as usual. So 5 one-offs remaining in the deck. So first one is my one-off Edward Newgate. I wanted another additional top-end option in case I never drew any Namis, I only drew Izos. I wanted to have a top-end option, so I'm running 1 of the Newgate as well. Searchable off of the Izo, of course, synergizes well with Jinbei, with Crossfire, with Otama, with the 4 cost Brook as well. So great card. I feel like I only need 1 because the focus on this deck is more on the aggro, but also good as a defensive option. Next is Round Table. Very good one-off card, especially in the yellow matchup. Does hit the Big Mom. Makes it KOable by Marco, by Newgate, by Fire Fist, by basically Sneeze, by Izo even. So my other one-off. Next, I have 3 more event one-offs. First is the Fire Fist. Fantastic alternate art. I feel like in the current meta, you only really need 1 of these. It's not super valuable, although it does synergize very well with the 4 cost Brook. I think this deck focuses a little bit more on board control by hitting the board, and then also by using the 10 cost Luffy and the Aces as well. So 1 Fire Fist. Next event, 1 of Seaquake. So this could also be another Fire Fist, but I did want to experiment a little bit with the ratios, so this could also be just second Fire Fist, of course. It could also be another Flame Emperor, could even be another Newgate, could even be another Otama. So these are kind of my flex slots right now that I'm just trying out. So I thought Seaquake was really good, especially when comboed with both the Brook and Ace. If you have both of them on the board, so 5 Dawn turn you Brook, 7 Dawn turn you Ace. If it's your 10 Dawn turn, you have a Brook on the board already. So you attach 1 to Brook, you drop the Ace, you reduce something by 5k, this hits a 8k power unit, which is cool. It is a bit of a heavy combo, but it is something. It also combos with the Round Table to hit any unit in the game as well. So one of the other things that you can do. And my last very spicy one of tech, it is the Diablo Jumper. So one thing that you don't really like about Diablo Jumbo in most other decks is that it doesn't have counter, so sometimes it rots in hand. But we are Ace, so if anything and we never draw any Straw Hat units, we can always just discard it for 1k counter, or if we feel that it isn't that useful in the current matchup. So that's one thing that I think is really nice about running it in this deck specifically, compared to like Luffy or Zoro. So I like the fact that it does have that that counter potential as well. So yeah, this is the current deck list that I've been testing with Ace. It does pretty well in general, I think. Mostly I've been testing it against the new Magellan, against Zoro, as well as against Katakuri. And I think the overall win rate is about 60 to 70%, so it is pretty strong. Even against yellow, it feels like it has a bit of a better time than previous versions, especially because of the amount of aggro that you get from this. But that's also especially when going second, so losing the dice roll is a bit more detrimental here, whereas the previous versions of Ace that were more Whitebeard Pirates focused could also go first most of the time. Notably, I also only run 12 events, which is kind of low, kind of on the low end for an Ace deck. But the benefit of that is that it's also, because we're running Ace, there is very few no counter cards. So in any other deck, most of these would be no counter, like these slots would be no counter cards. So that's another additional 8 no counter cards. Whereas in this deck, all 8 of these are also counter. So that's something that I do like. Yeah, right now I am testing with 4 of the Luffy. I think it's fair enough to drop it to 3 as well, maybe go for 4th Jinbei instead. But for now, I feel like it's something that I do want to see, and I am running Double Searcher. I may bottom deck a few of them, so that's my current ratio. Another thing that I did want to try was to run the buggy version instead. So with buggy version, we would probably cut these 10 cards. So the 10 cards here, we would probably cut, and then swap for Jozu, as well as more events probably. So more Whitebeard Pirate type events, so maybe more Fire Fist, more Sea Quakes and stuff. So I think that is also an option. If we wanted to, we could cut this for Buggy, and then maybe 4 of these for Jozu, and then these 2 could be another event slot. So I think that is also an option if I wanted to switch to a more event heavy version of the deck. But at the moment, I felt like I wanted to more consistently draw these cards, which I think are very, very strong. One thing you notice is that I also don't run a single Jozu in this deck. So one thing I'm considering also is swapping some of the ratios for the Straw Hat 2k counters to be Jozu instead. But right now I feel like I'm kind of low on hits. So right now I'm at 6, 4, 8. Sorry, 6, 10, 14, 18, 19 Straw Hat hits, which is not that many. So I didn't want to go any lower on that front. But this is the current list that I'm trying. Of course, as usual, I'm running like 5 one-off cards. If you choose not to run the 5 one-offs, what I would recommend, of course, is to just probably go to 3 Fire Fist, like that, and then add 1 more of each 2k counter. Alternatively, this could be 1 more Crossfire and 1 more Flame Emperor. So a lot of different options for these 5 one-offs. I just personally felt like I wanted to flex these 5 in, because I just like my one-offs, man. Stop asking me to justify them. Sheesh, fuck. But yeah, that is the current Ace deck profile that I have in mind. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching my Ace deck profile. The list is up here on the screen now as well for your reference. Make sure to drop a like, a sub, and follow me on my Twitch and Twitter if you liked my content, so you can get updated right when new content drops. I do have a Magellan deck list also in the works now that I will share as soon as I can. And until then, peace out.